I was born into hip hop. That's the way I would look at it. But one of the early remembrances that I have is I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I knew the neighborhood DJ, and so I'd sneak in on their practices, and he'd be cutting it up. There'd be break dancers. At times I had a guy on the drums, and what I thought was really cool is then they would all switch. So you would have the DJ would then be breakdancing, the drummer would get on the turntables, and the guy breakdancing would be, you know, on the drums or whatever else they might have had. And it was just cool, you know. This is the 80s we're talking about, and man, I was just enthralled with the whole culture, you know. And graffiti caught my eye, everything about hip hop. I was just born into it, I think. Well, I started DJing, you know, shortly after kind of watching these guys do it, and DJing kind of led into producing, and I connected in the mid '90s with a bunch of people off the internet. Internet was just kind of, you know, coming up. It was brand new, and I met a couple other people off the internet. We wanted to do a song for a compilation, and then shortly after we kind of made this song with a bunch of people from different cities. Me and a couple of the guys, they were from Cleveland at the time, decided, hey, we might as well start a record label. And you know, so this is like 1996. It kind of was a bigger deal than it might be now. Labels are starting all the time now with MySpace and things like this. But in '96, we just wanted to start putting out music. You know, we wanted to be able to make CDs. We wanted to make records. And so the idea, once we started it, and you know, so this is like '96, '97. I'm in college at UB. It's kind of got like a Def Jam feel to me, the way Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons started it out of Rick Rubin's NYU dorm. So I'm in my dorm, and we're making music, and you know, we just wanted to make a label that spoke to the artist. So you know, we had artists involved in the label operations as well. We didn't have any artists that pretty much just stood by and let you do whatever. Every artist, and to this day, is involved in the way they're marketed, in the way their songs sound. You know, there's very high level of artist creative control with this label. The first thing I had to do, and I tell I work with a lot of young people now, so the first thing you want to do is go downtown and file a DBA form, a doing business as form, just so that it's officially on record that you're operating as a business. You know, that's real basic. Past that, it's really about connections. This industry is really about who you know. I mean, it's about what you know. It's great if you have a degree for sound or a degree in marketing, etc. But if you can just hustle and you can really get out, and especially get out of Buffalo and get into some of the larger markets and meet the people that are making moves, that's really the foundation of any record label, is the connections they have within their industry. You know, whether we're talking independent or mainstream or whatever it might be, you know, having a network of various people that do various things, that's the foundation of any label. Obviously, then you want to get into finding good artists, finding good talent, you know, developing a marketing plan. That's crucial. You know, 90% of business nowadays is marketing. I mean, with the advent of so much technology now, it's really about developing your audience. I mean, right now we're really focused on Idris, Billy Idris Williams. He's been in the city for quite a while. Most people know him, and that's the flagship artist right now. We've recently rebranded. You know, I've been in operations for about 12 years now, and him and I have known each other for about 9 or 10 of those years. I've known him for a long time. We were doing stuff years ago, just on various compilations I did. He's done a whole lot with his crew, Raw and Tell, over the years. They've won a couple of Buffalo Music Awards. They've gotten a lot of notoriety. And about a year and a half ago, you know, I was kind of at this position where I wasn't sure what I was going to do. He was kind of in the same. We were in real similar predicaments, and we just said, man, it must be time. You know, timing and opportunity is everything. And so we decided to work, you know, completely together. We decided to rebrand the label to give it more of a mainstream kind of push. You know, I mean, one of his goals, he wants to win a Grammy. So that right there is why I'm focusing on him. The Art of Hip Hop is a great event. It's actually Idris's baby. He started a few years back. at the time, the Albright Knox was looking at different ways to bring more people into their Free Friday events. So he did it. It went very well. I actually missed the first one. And then last year, in talking to him, like, why don't we, let's do it again? And he's like, yeah, I got you. It's coming. So he set that up. We were part of that. And then this year came along, and we're working together much more closely now than we were. And he's like, I'm going to do it again, and we're going to make it bigger and better than ever. But what it is it's an all ages, open to the public, free event that goes down at the Albright Knox once a year. We're in our third year, and it features workshops on breakdancing, on graffiti art, on DJing. This year we had a video premiere for Idris's video, and then we have basically a party at the end with some live performances from some of the best people in the city. And a lot of kids come out. I mean, this year we had thousands of people there. Most of them are under the age of 18, which is great because there's not a lot of positive things to do in the city. There's not a lot of exposure for this sort of positive music in the city. And we feel like it's growing. We're already working on setting up the next one. What we did this year that was unique was we took the Friday night, the Art of Hip Hop event at the Albright, and turned it into a weekend, the first annual weekend festival for the Art of Hip Hop Buffalo Hip Hop Festival. So in effect, we took this one event and spread it out with 7 events over one weekend. Many of them all ages, a lot of them free. And the idea with this was not only to kind of put on a lot more talent, because we only have a certain amount of time at the Albright, but also make some noise outside of the city for kind of what I said in terms of bringing exposure and notoriety to Buffalo's hip-hop scene. And it worked. I mean, we blasted out a press release about it, and 2 hours later, I had about 10 or 15 phone calls from booking agents outside of the city asking how they can book their artists into this festival. And, I mean, it was already booked, so I had to tell them next year. But, mission accomplished.